Ay,
Sige. Share screen. Ay, ano sir, naka-disabled pa yung screen sharing.
ma'am yan, pwede magpa-share. Siya naman good ang host.
Ay, okay. Tama.
Ayan na, Ma'am Cash.
Okay, sige po, ma'am.
Okay. While Ma'am Cash is preparing the presentation, so me and Sir Julius will be out somewhere in the middle, okay? Because we have classes also. We have masteral and he has law. Kayawa na ni Sir Oil, law student. Okay, so please behave kayo kay Ma'am Cash. Pero we are still here in the Zoom meeting.
Yeah,
we will
not go out. We'll just turn off our camera.
Yes.
Wait, ma'am ha.
Makita na siya sa home screen, Ma'am Cash.
Pero maliit pa, sir, no? Ayan.
Maliit siya. Ayan, okay na yan siya. So, okay. Family Coping Index. So what are the purpose of this Family Coping Index? Now, we will be discussing this one the whole this morning, and also some program of the DOH. First is the purpose of Family Coping Index is to provide a basis for estimating the nursing needs of a particular family. We are going to measure the coping index, how they cope up with a certain problem, health problem that they encounter. So let's say for example, merong may sakit sa family. So how are they coping with that? Like are they helping? We are not going to measure individually kung ano yung we will not grade individually, but the whole family itself. Okay? Healthcare need. A family healthcare need is present when the family has a health problem with which they are unable to cope. See, that's what I said kanina. No, titingnan natin kung meron ba based on your family coping index, titingnan natin kung ang family ay meron ba silang healthcare need or kailangan ba nila ng assistance, no, based on our coping index, based on our rating. Then second is there is a reasonable likelihood that nursing will make a difference in the family's ability to cope up. So our intervention as their community health nurse, we'll see if it will help them to cope up with the healthcare need that they the healthcare need that they needed. No. Next is we're going to define what's coping. Coping may be defined as dealing with problems associated with healthcare with reasonable success. Okay, when the family is unable to cope with one or another aspect of healthcare, it may be said to have a coping deficit. So kung hindi sila maka-cope up sa healthcare need na yon na na-identify natin, meaning yan there's a coping deficit. Okay? Sige, next slide please, Ma'am Cash. If Ma'am Marian is available later, she will expound it, no, all the discussion. But I think Ma'am Marian also will continue my discussion if ever makat off na ako. Okay, direction for scaling. No, two parts ang ating two parts of coping index. The first is a point on the scale, and the second is justification statement. No, later on we will discuss that one. The scale enables you to place the family in relation to their ability to cope with the 9 areas. Later on, one by one, these 9 areas, we will tackle this one. Okay, of family nursing at the time observed, and as you would expect it to be in 3 months or at the time of discharge if the nursing care were provided. So for in our case, 2 weeks man lang tayo, so 2 months at the time of discharge. So before tayo mag-alis, titingnan natin if meron ba siyang improvement. Okay, but based on the family coping index, we will do the evaluation, we will do the scaling after 2 visit. No, after 2 visit, makikita natin kasi hindi pa man makabuild ng rapport yung first visit ninyo. Okay, after that second 2 to 3 visit, somehow it will build a rapport with the family. So ma-assess niyo na yan sila slowly. Okay? Sige, Ma'am Cash. Okay, family coping index is measured with the following scores. 1, no competence, 3, moderate competence, and 5, complete competence. So you need to remember this in order for you to measure your client, no, the family of your client. Now, general considerations, it is the cope of number 1. Sige, Barakero, kindly read general considerations.
It is the coping capacity and not the underlying problem that is rated. Number 2, it is the family and not the individual that is being rated. Rating should be done after 2 to 3 hours home visits when the nurse is more acquainted with the family. Justification, a brief statement that explains why you have rated the family as you have. These statements should be expressed in terms of behavior of observable fact.
Okay. So meaning, let's start with the justification. Nasa baba tayo mag-start. Justification, as what it said, no, the statement should be expressed in terms of behavior of observable facts. So based on what you've observed, your justification would be based on that. Okay? Hindi ka gagawa-gawa ng scenario or gagawa-gawa ng istorya. Kung hindi mo nakita kung ano man yung nandun sa family, wag mong i-rate. Okay? Wag kang mag-assume, wag kang mag-presume. Okay? Now, as I've said kanina, ang rating natin is gagawin natin after 2 to 3 home visit. No, you will not be able to assess. Hindi pa yan magma-manifest first visit ninyo. Kasi on the stage pa ng getting to know each other pa man yung nurse at saka yung family. Okay? It is the family and not individual that is being rated. So as I've said kanina, hindi individual ang rating nito. Hindi ka magre-rate sa papa or sa mama or sa mga anak. Okay, the whole family of how they cope up with the problem, the healthcare problem na meron sila. No, later on, one by one, we will know yung 9 areas. No, malalaman natin kung paano yun i-measure. Now, it is the coping capacity. As I've said, coping capacity ng family at not the underlying problem. Okay, hindi mo i-rate based on the underlying problem but on the coping capacity on that underlying problem. No, kung meron silang problema, let's say for example, one of them is paralyzed, how are they coping up with that? No, kung meron bang tumutulong, let's say for example, meron bang nagpapainom ng gamot, yung ganon. Okay? Sige, Ma'am Cash. Thank you. Ni Hangshio. Okay ka na. Number 5, ako na lang. Terminal rating is done at the end of the given period of time. This enables the nurse to, this is your objective, to see the progress the family has made in their competence, whether the prognosis was reasonable and whether the family needs further nursing service, and where emphasis should be placed. Okay, based on your justification, no, makukuha mo dito terminal rating, no, at the end of the period. So sa katapusan mo na yan siya ng visit ninyo magagawa. Titingnan mo kung yung family meron bang progress from the time na pumasok ka sa kanilang bahay. Let's say first stage pa lang na interaction niyo, 'di ba, mag-o-observe ka na pero hindi mo pa sila i-rate, at least meron ka ng observation, no, nga na note. Tapos on the terminal rating, kung magre-rate ka na sa kanila, okay, titingnan mo doon kung meron bang progress. No, let's say for example, nang pasok mo pa lang doon sa kanila, introduction mo sa kanila sa bahay nila, ang mga bata nila yagit, no, marurumi, hindi naliligo, no, bungis-ngis, madaming tuyong laway sa bunganga, okay, or yagit in general. And then after that, let's say for example, 4 visits sa kanila, after all the intervention na ginawa mo, nagawa ka ng lecture on proper hygiene and so on, no, titingnan mo kung magre-rate ka na terminal rating, titingnan mo kung meron bang progress, no, kung meron na bang competence yung family, nililigo na ba yung mga anak nila every morning, ginaliguan ba, malinis na ba, no, titingnan mo yan. Okay, and then you're going to rate that one. Whether the prognosis was reasonable, kung yung justification mo, yung identify mo ng problem was reasonable ba o kailangan ba siya ng extendable time, no? Kung let's say for example, sa unang visit mo makikita mo na may na-stroke doon. So kung i-rate mo yung family when it comes to kung kaya ba nilang magawa ng action plan when it comes to the physical therapy of the patient. So kung hindi naman reasonable and then mag-i-expect ka na makakalakad ulit or maayos or I mean mababalik yung kondisyon ng pasyente, then that is unreasonable. Okay? Kasi ang treatment ng stroke patient is mahaba man yung length. Okay? So titingnan mo kung yung prognosis mo is reasonable ba. Then you will need to go back on your first observation sa kanila and the plan that you created for them. Let's say nag-expect ka na nag-teach ka on how paano sila let's say for example, tinuturuan mo silang mag-suture doon. So mag-expect ka na matututo talaga sila agad. It's not reasonable, okay? And whether the family needs further nursing service, okay? Kung kailangan pa ba nila ng further intervention kasi you are going to refer them, let's say for example, meron in the family, merong TB patient, okay? And then 4 days lang man tayo sa community, no? 4 days lang man tayo sa community. So it's not hindi siya enough the time, the 4 days for the intervention, nursing intervention na ika-craft mo para ang family maka-cope up with the problem of that TB patient or family member, okay? So kailangan mo nang i-assess mo kung need pa ba niya ng further nursing service. Like say kasi i-refer mo man yan sa barangay, okay? I-refer mo man yan sa barangay. And where emphasis should be placed, kung saan mo bibigyan ng focus, no? Hindi pwede na in one setup marami kang ipapa-implement sa kanila kasi mahihirapan ang family. So magbibigay ka ng focus kung ano yung pinaka-main talaga na kailangan nilang i-cope up. Okay? Now, here, 9 areas to be assessed. First is the physical independence. Ako na lang, no? This category is concerned with the ability to move about, to get out of bed, to take care of, basically physical independence, no? Grooming, walking, and other things which involve the daily activity. So let's say, for example, may stroke patient doon sa bahay. Okay? May na-stroke doon sa kanila. So there's a dependency when it comes to physical activity. No, you're going to rate that one. You're going to assess that one if the family can cope up with the problem. No, meron bang note that it is the family competence that is measured even though an individual is dependent. If the family is able to compensate for this, the family may be independent. So as I've said, as one of my example is stroke patient. No, you will see, you are going to see if the family competence or if they can cope up with that problem. Let's say for example, may tumutulong ba kay tatay pag tumatayo? May tumutulong ba kay tatay pag nagbabanyo? Tinutulungan ba siya ng asawa, ng anak? Pag kumakain, sino ba ang nagsusubo sa kanya? Yung ganyan. No, you're going to assess that one. Second, please. Next slide, Ma'am Cash. Now, balik, Ma'am Cash. Okay, family failing entirely to provide required personal care to one or more of its members. So an example here is arthritic patient unable to get out of bed alone. No one is available to help. Another thing is patient cannot give his hypodermic medication because of fear. So walay makahatag sa family kay mahadlok sila. Okay? Manawag pa og nurse, manawag pa og BHW para maoy mo butang sa iyang hypodermic medication. And a great example of this number one area, no, is arthritic patient unable to get out of bed alone. Okay? So as I've said, kung may tumutulong ba sa kanya? Okay? May available to help ba sa iya ha? Okay? Sige, next slide please, Ma'am Cash. Family providing partially for needs of its members or providing care for some members but not for other. Let's say for example, mother may be doing, mother may be doing well with own and husband's care but failing to give daily care efficiently to a newborn care. So yung mama or yung asawa is well taking care of niya yung well taking care of niya yung husband niya, or tapos yung mga anak niya hindi niya mapakain ng maayos, or makita nimo nga si mama kay kilay kaayo, red lips kaayo, nya nagsinaw ang naw, kay puti kaayo, kay grabe ang laklak og glutatayon. Pero ang iyang mga anak malnourished. Okay, makita na nimo, ma-identify man na nimo. Upon entering sa house, makita na dayon nimo nga, limpyo lagi kay si ma'am, no, mura lagi niya siya milyonarya, mura lagi niya siya dunya. Pero ang iyong mga anak koan, yagit, no? Ingana na kamarites ang nurse when it comes to family coping index. So you're going to observe. Okay? You will do your observation. Next one, Miss Cash. All family members, whether or not there is infirmity or disability in one or more of its members, receiving the necessary care to maintain cleanliness, including skin care, able to get out as far as possible within their physical abilities, receiving assistance when needed without interruption or undue delay. So, clear ang iyang example diha. Okay? All family members, whether or not there is infirmity or disability in one or more of its members. Okay? Malalaman niyo dyan, makikita niyo kung meron bang nare-receive na necessary care to maintain cleanliness yung family member maski hindi siya, wala siyang disability. No? Sige, next slide, Ma'am Cash. Second is therapeutic competence. Okay? This category includes all the procedures or treatment prescribed for the care of ill, no? Such as giving medication, dressing, exercise, and relaxation, special diets. So, dito natin makikita kung naka-cope up ba yung family. No, again, we were not going to rate individual. Let's say for example, ay yung mama kay hindi man siya nagapainom og tambal siyang anak, ako in-note dire. No, we are not rating individually. We are rating as a whole family. Okay? Family not carrying out procedure prescribed or doing it unsafely. Okay, an example of this is giving out several medication without being able to distinguish one from the other, or taking them inappropriately, applying braces, so they throw the limb out of line, measuring insulin incorrectly. So an example of which is if ang mama family not carrying out procedure prescribed or doing it unsafely, di ba, let's say for example, dili maka-identify ba na giving out several medication without being able to distinguish one from the other. So let's say for example, maingon lang og unsay tawag ani, magsakit kali, maghilanat, or na fever, anyone from the family. I have this experience nga nag-fever, and then pag kahiman, ang ginainom niya is naproxen, no? Ang ginainom niya naproxen. Naibo kung ano naproxen man na, supposedly if fever, we need to take a paracetamol man, di ba? So that's basic. Ang iyang personal regimen is naproxen sodium. Sabi ko, bakit ka nag-inom ng naproxen sodium? Hindi man yan gamot for fever. Siya nga, sir, gamot man yan for fever. Kana siyang maayo man ang akong mga maayo man akong pamilya if maunay among ginatumar, mao gyud na siya among ginainom, sir. So kana pala nga point, no, mali na kasi yung naproxen sodium, that's NSAID man, NSAID. Although it will maybe alleviate the pain nga na felt ni patient, but it will not cure fever, no. Dili na siya treatment for fever. Family resents, reject, or refuse to give the necessary care. Okay, let's say for example, kinahanglan purgahon or karon COVID, kinahanglan pabakunahan ang family member, dili mo sugot. Okay, mahimo ko ng robot or mahimo ko ng unsa to, alien, masuko. Okay, imong i-invite nga magpabakuna, dili. No, daghan diha sa kang Ma'am Marian nga area sa Forest, daghan diha ang dili magpabakuna kay gihimo-himo ra daw sa gobyerno ang COVID kay para makakwarta. Okay? Mani siya, family resents, reject, or refuse to give the necessary care. So dili sila mosugot nga magbakunahan ilang anak, especially katong nauso katong dingback siya. After ato daghan ang dili magpabakuna. Okay? Dili na magpabakuna kay mahadlok na kay ginapraktisan daw ang mga anak. Okay, karon na pod pagsulod sa COVID samot dili na gyud hinon pod magpabakuna kay mahimo lagi daw kunong robot, no? Butang kita pa jud ko nato kanang sa TikTok nga butang-butang og piso ang bukton after mabakunahan sus mura jud tinuod mura jud correct. Makaingon na lang jud ko, ay sige na lang. Kinahanglan jud og mga nurses sa community nga mo explain sa mga tao nga that is not the right way. That it's supposed to be protect them, no, to protect them, but unsaon ta man mas mutuo man gud sila og mga disinformation. Anyway, let's proceed, Miss Cash. Family carrying out some but not all of the treatment, giving insulin but not adhering strictly to diet, no, magtuod na maka-insulin, sige makag-inject, no, but no lifestyle change, no, kaon gihapon og bulalo, kaon gihapon og balbacoa, kaon gihapon og daghang rice, no exercise. So ganun din, you will rate that one. If the family is makita ba ni sa family nga problema or no, identified ba ni siya sa nga problema sa family or no. Giving medication correctly but not understanding purposes of the drug or symptoms to be observed. So kadto siya mag-fever pero magpataka inom lag naproxen, no, or inom og unsa pa na diha, no, or kanang nadyo ko nang nakoy isa ka patient sa una katong nagtrabaho ko og sa construction, as a nurse sa construction, no. Niadto siya sa clinic and then ngayo siya nako og biogesic. Ko nga nang mga makag biogesic gihilantan day ka. Din siya sir ka nang kuan mo good sir og magabi mo ni akong ginainom. Ko ngano nagainom ko biogesic every time before ka matulog. Gihilantan hilantan bakag magabi kay I suspect basig nagka-TB. Ingko nga kana siyang kanang naaba kay TB or ngano mo inom ka og biogesic. Mo ana siya nga sir, naamgo ko insomniate. Ingko unsa insomniate kuya? Kana bang dili makatulog sir insomniate ingko ha? Unsa insomniate daw. Ingko basig insomnia and siya nga o kana siya sir ingko ngano insomniate pataka lang ka. And then ingko dili man natambal ang biogesic sa imong insomnia, no. Ang biogesic is tambal na siya for fever, no. And then sumoto I corrected him, no, with regards to that.
I think nawala na si Sir Julius. Sir Julius.
Dili oy naapa ko.
Okay, sige.
Naapa ko nalanggi ko anak kong mother-in-law.
Okay.
Anyway, so family carrying out some but not all. So mao to siya. Ako siyang gi-correct no nga. Sir, biogesic is not a medication for your insomnia, okay? So yun, na-correct siya. Then siya, sir, maumag na akong kuan. Iko basig hilig kag kape. And siya, yes sir, kalima ko magkape sa kadlaw. Iko mo nang dili ka katulog. No. So next slide please. So they take the medication but without understanding kung unsa ang reason ato for that specific medication. Okay? Sige, next slide please, Ma'am Cash. Family able to demonstrate that the members can carry out the prescribed procedure safely and efficiently with the understanding of the principles involved in a confident and willing attitude. Let's say for example, na ay bagong gioperahan sa family, no? So syempre na ay tudluan ana kung kinsa ang mo do the dressing, no? Naka-understand ba sila kasabot ba sila kung unsay purpose, no? Kamao ba sila sa procedure, no, on how to do it properly bisag gitudluan na, no, or if kamao ba sila kung how to do it the procedure safely and efficiently, nga dili sila magbalik-balik o gamit sa gloves or gauze or di ba from inner to outer, no, nakuha ba na nila, no, naka-understand ba sila sa principle on that nga nung inner to outer ang atong buhaton when it comes to dressing, no. Inana, you're going to assess that one. Sige, next slide please. Number 3, knowledge of health condition. So this one, this system is concerned with the particular health condition that is the occasion of care. Knowledge of the disease or inability to understand communicability of disease and modes of transmission, understanding of general development of a newborn baby, and the basic needs of infants for physical care or tender loving care. Kani, more on the knowledge side ni siya when it comes to health condition. Murag na ni siya example next, Ma'am Cass. Ay, balik lang. Ato lang sa dito. Wala din siya example. No, kini, let's say for example, knowledge of the disease or inability to understand communicability of disease and modes of transmission. Kani, actually guys, before the COVID time, I was thinking ba, nganong at the time of COVID, the nurses was left alone in the battlefield, no? It should be especially nurses in the hospital. No, mura silang nabiyaan in the battlefield nga sila lang. There are a lot of nurses not in the hospital setup, no, especially I would like to emphasize on this on the community side. Kadtong nga time before nag-start gyud og kusog ang COVID sa Philippines. Let's say for example naa na ang COVID because inevitable man gyud to siya, no. The government should have, no, although I'm okay with the intervention that the government made, no, the lockdown, I'm okay with that, but it should have been more on the information side, like student nurses, gitap unta to ang akademya, student nurses, community health nurses, nurses in the corporate sector. They should have been the support, no, of those nurses in the hospital para to inform the general public on what is COVID all about, how it is being transmitted, because mas naunahan manggod og disinformation, no, ang mga tao mas una naka-receive og disinformation sa social media because of mga uban, mga anti-vaxxer, mga dili ganahan nga human ang COVID. But anyway, human naman ta sa COVID, no. Knowledge of the disease or inability to understand communicability of disease, no. Let's say for example kanang na TB sa balay, okay, dili na mo adto ang mga silingan kay mahadlok na, or let's say for example na ay patient nga na leprosy sa balay, no, mahadlok na mo adto ang mga tao or ang mohadlok maatiman ang family, no, kay basig matakdan, which is treatable naman karon nga panahon, okay, no, mahadlok sila, then they understand communicability of inability to understand communicability of disease, na ay HIV sud sa balay, dili na pagamiton og same plate, same spoon, no, kinahanglan i-separate gyud kuno kay basig matakdan sila sa HIV sa ilang family member, no, which is wrong, okay. And the modes of transmission, no, moingon sila nga basig matakdan sila kay gamiton kuno ang spoon o ang fork na, but anyway, now understanding of general of development of newborn baby and the basic needs of infant for physical care or tender loving care. So understanding of general development of a newborn, nakasabot ba sila kung unsa ang growth and development sa bata, no? Let's say for example, kamao ba sila sa Eric Erikson nga trust versus mistrust, na if ang baby maghilak, sige gihilak mo ana ra ang mama, sige hilang hilom ra lagi na siya, so mo ana ra, kay nakamao ba sila na ana, no, nakamao ba sila kung unsaon pag-identify kung ang bata gigutom, no, kung ginatayman ba nila ang feeding sa bata, okay. Sige, next slide please, Ma'am Cash. Totally uninformed or misinformed about the condition. Example, believes tuberculosis is caused by a sin. That's a concrete example. That's a correct example. Mo na kay kuan manggod kay na siya kanang badlungon sa una. So mo nang gitibi na karon gigabaan na siya. No, or gibarang, mayon dayon gibarang. No, believes stroke patient must be bedridden and that is cruel to make them to do something for themselves. No, ang idea manggod, ang idea nga kanagaling kumbaga misinformed ba about the idea of being stroke patient, na kinahanglan ko ang stroke, moingon kag stroke, ay naghigda na lang jud dito siya sa iyang kuan kanang katri or sa iyang bed nagahigda na lang gyud dito siya, bedridden na gyud dito siya kay na stroke man kaha mo na dayon na sila. Okay, so you need to correct that disinformation. Okay, misinformation I mean. Overweight in school age, overweight in the school age is healthy. Inana na sila kay kusog magud ang mga bata hyper ba kayo labi na ang school age. So ma-overweight yun inyo, they consider themselves as healthy. I-consider nila. Let's say for example tambok. Og moingon kag tambok, moingon jud dayon nag ay may pangimong anak kay healthy. No, automatic yun dayon na basta tambok healthy. No, man nakabutang dia oh. Okay, next slide please. That is wrong ha. Not all chubby or nagkuog body fit no healthy. O uban na nila asthmatic, o uban na ginabati. Has some general knowledge of the disease or condition but has not grasped the underlying principles or is partially informed. Okay, may understand dietary and insulin control of diabetes but not the need for special care of the fit. No, they understand nga kinahanglan mag-insulin na ang pasyente pero they were not able to understand the importance nga kinahanglan pud ninyo alagaan ang fit sa pasyente especially if DM. Okay? Nganuman, no? Mas layo ang let's say the farther the injury mas dugay ang healing. Okay? Mas dugay ang healing niya nganuman because of decreased circulation. Okay? Decrease man ang circulation especially if DM ang imong patient na diabetes mellitus ang imong patient. No, decrease ang circulation sa iyang tiil. So dugay ang healing. So say mahitabo, magka-gangrene, malata ang tiil. Ang kadugayan kanang kulang sa understanding or kulang sa knowledge on taking care of a DM patient, mao nang mo resulta nga ma-amputate ang tiil. Okay? Knows the salient facts about the disease well enough to take necessary action at the proper time, understand the rationale of care, able to observe and report significant symptoms. So, kani kamao sila about diabetes no, mayngon sila nga dili na maayo kinahanglan na mag-dialysis. Pero kani siya walagi knows the salient facts about the disease well enough to take necessary action at the proper time and understands the rationale of care. So kamao sila kung unsa ilang buhaton. No, in short, kamao sila kung unsa ilang buhaton, nakasabot sila kung unsa ang disease, no, disease process. Let's say for example, na stroke ang iyang papa. Kanya pagkahuman or one of the family member is na stroke. So nakamao sila og unsa ang disease process na unsa nahitabo ba. No, gi-explainan sila maayo sa doktor nga mauni nakaklat tungod sa iyang lifestyle sige siya kaon og balbakwa or bulalo, no, nag-create og artifact sa iyang artery and then i-clog dito sa iyang brain, artery sa iyang brain niya pagkahuman nagka-create og ni-rupture ang iyang brain sa brain, so mao na nga nagka-aneurysm dito, ruptured aneurysm, so mao na nga nagka-stroke siya, and then so in general nakamao sila, and then kamao sila kung unsay buhaton, no, nakamao sila nga if ever naana po'y sudden nga attack, no, minor attack again for the second time or for the third time, kinahanglan na gid sila moadto dayon sa hospital kay ang stroke patient especially if na bag-o lang na stroke, let's say nara na siya a couple of hours nga pwede nimo dadon sa hospital, and after that kung mulampas na kinahanglan na dyan na siya therapy, irreversible na siya. Okay? Kung masulod pa ka na nga specific number of hours, especially if na stroke, no, take note on that ha. If especially if stroke patient, and then dadon mo siya sa hospital dali dayon na siya murag 3 to 4 hours raman yata na siya nga specific hours nga within that period pwede pa nimo ma-reverse ang stroke, no, dili pa ka mo go into therapy kay ma-dissolve raman nimo, let's say for example na ay pagtan-aw sa CT scan or sa MRI na ay clot, no, nga nakabara sa ugat, pwede ra na siya tunawon sa tambal. Okay? But beyond that specific number of hours, wala na, therapy na yun na siya ang resulta ana. So kamao sila ana and able to observe and report significant symptoms. So kamao sila gi-explainan sila sa doktor nga mao ni ang inyong mga tan-aw ha, inyong i-observe ang iyang naong kung mangiwi ba dayon, ipagawas ang dila kung muadto sa other side or i-raise ang brows kung ang isa ka eyebrows nagpabilin or ngon ana, okay? Or you try to ask the patient to smile kung nangiwi ba ang iyong mukha. Okay? Sige, next slide please. Next slide, Miss Cash.
Wait lang, sir, ha? Parang nag-hang siya. Bakit ayaw? Lagi. Ayun.
Okay, application of the principles of general hygiene. This is concerned with the family action in relation to maintaining family nutrition, securing adequate rest and relaxation for family members carrying out accepted preventive measures such as immunization, medical appraisal, safe homemaking, habits in relation to storing and preparing food. So okay na po na siya, no? Nakasabot na tayo na principles of general hygiene. O kamao na tayo, that's basic. No, dili na tamo dwell into that. No, maintaining family nutrition and so on and so forth. Sige, Ma'am Cash, next.
Wait lang, sir, ha? Nag-hang siya ba? I don't know why. Hindi siya mag-proceed. Kaya? Wait lang.
Sige, naghang.
Ayaw.
Ma'am yan,
Naghang.
pwede na ko mo excuse, Ma'am yan. Kadali lang jud, Ma'am yan.
OMG, sige. Ma'am Cash,
Sorry.
unshare good siya. Mag-start
Ano
na
naman,
po yung
explain ko
pastoral.
muna.
Wait lang.
Tapos, wait lang. Na-stop siya. Mag-start ka na rin, ma'am, yan.
Opo.
Continue ko na lang para diretso-diretso.
Sige.
Try ko share screen again, ha? Kasi nag-hang siya. I don't know why. Okay. Stop share screen muna ako. Ito, okay. Di ba lakas sa lahat? Hello?
Yes po, Ma'am.
Student?
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay, sige. I'll continue na lang the discussion. Next one is the family diet, grossly inadequate or unbalanced, necessary immunization not secured for children. So, example of this one, the house is dirty, the food handled unsanitarily. So, hindi naman tayo mag-stereotype, pero kayo na lang mag-observe during the home visit natin sa community natin. Kasi hindi naman talaga, kasi yung area naman na puntahan natin is yung area na mga dikit-dikit talaga yung bahay, maliliit yung mga living spaces. So, hindi talaga kayo maka-expect na malinis yung environment. Alright? So, careful din kayo sa mga words na gagamitin ninyo during the interview, okay? So, members of family working beyond reasonable limits, children and adults getting too little sleep. So, as you can see, it involves the sleep, the diet. So, more focus dito is yun nga, may mga food na hindi na prepare ng maayos. So, siguro, sa preparation pa lang kasi marumi yung kitchen area, maraming mga, makita mo, maraming mga langaw, mag-chop sila sa kitchen nila dun sa chopping board, nilalangaw na yung mga karne, pero para sa kanila, wala lang. And then, hindi mo rin ma-expect na mag-wash sila ng hands nila. So, kailangan i-remind talaga natin sila. Family members and kept in filthy, inadequate clothes in relation to the weather. So, yun nga. Sabihin natin, malamig yung weather, pero yung mga suot nila, sobrang ninipis. Hindi naman lahat may mga sweater, jacket, and all. So, lahat yan, dito yan siya mag-fall na category, okay? Lahang, ano ba yan? Wait lang ha. Okay, next one is failing to apply some principles of general hygiene. For instance, so keeping house in excellent condition, yun na nga yung nasabi ko kanina. So we don't expect na yung physical appearance and the environment of the place is in excellent condition, but expending too much energy and becoming over fatigued as a result. Secured initial immunization. That's why sa community natin, may nearest doon na barangay health center. So alam na nila yan na every Wednesday is the schedule for immunization. So all the mothers there will go to the barangay health center in order for their child to be immunized. Household runs smoothly, family meals well selected, habits of sleep and rest adequate to needs. So, important that, they know the proper house management, not only in the house chores, also this also includes in preparation of the meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Kasi, yun nga, it is important that we will also look into kung ano yung mga kinakain nila, ano yung diet nila, and includes also the activities such as rest, sleep, and ano pa yung mga other important things na involves the family. So, okay. Next one is the health attitude. So this category is concerned with the way the family feels about healthcare in general, including preventive services, care of illness, and public health measures. So, from the word health attitude, anong ibig sabihin nito? Okay, Ms. Bobadilla, what do you mean by health attitude?
How the family could deal with, or ano po yung attitude nila towards the health po nila, ma'am?
Yes, okay, that's one. The family knows in general, for example, kung ano yung mga services na malapit sa kanila. For example, sa community, may barangay health centers. So may mga free consultation dyan from Monday to Friday. May mga scheduled kasi yan sila na activity sa barangay. For example, may TB day yan sila. Meron yan silang prenatal day. As I've said, may immunization day every Wednesday. Ganyan. So yung mga access na yon, they know how to use those access in order for them to be checked by the physician kasi sa SPMC ng mga ROD, mag-duty yan sila dun sa barangay health center. Yun yung experience ko sa previous na health center namin sa Agdao, sa Leon Garcia. So, that's part of the health attitudes. Okay, next one. Family resents and resists all healthcare, has no confidence in doctors. So what do you mean by this, Ms. Dula?
Diba, in terms of Filipino po kasi we have beliefs po, and I believe that especially for the older generation po, those that are rooted in tradition, they really rely instead of the more updated and medical and scientifically proven practices po, they still rely doon po sa mga albularyo, if I'm not mistaken po na term.
Okay, yes, very good. Thank you for that, Ms. Dula. Naka-mention dito yan sa last part, practice folk medicine or superstitious rites of illness. Yung tinatawag natin ng mga quack doctors. Diba? So, hindi natin yan talaga may iwasan, lalo na sa mga old generation. So, you're good with that one. That's why ang role natin is for them to teach them na ma'am, pag may mga maramdaman kayo na sakit, magpa-consult kayo sa nearest health center ninyo. Kasi hindi naman natin sila ma-expect na pumunta talaga sila sa mga hospitals kasi magkano rin ang consultation fee ng mga consultant natin, di ba? So pag upo pa lang nila, 500 na yan. So kung yung income lang nila 300 a day, do you think they will go for a consultation? Babayad sila ng 500 pesos para lang i-check lang yung interviewin ka lang yan, i-check ka lang nila, kailan ka nagkasakit, anong naramdaman mo, ganyan, tapos ano pa ng mga lab test, additional gastos yan sa kanila. So, isa rin yan sa mga reason kasi they know na expensive din ang ating healthcare system. Diba? Although meron namang mga doctors na mas cheaper yung kanilang mga consultation rate. Pero sabi ko nga, sa barangay health center natin, pwede sila magpa-consult. So, libre doon. So, we have to encourage them. That's your role. Encourage them to go to the nearest barangay health center para pag may mga illness sila, makapagpa-consult sila right away. Okay? So, this one, the next one, is for Twito. So, read this one.
Accepts healthcare in some degree, but with reservations. May have confidence in doctors generally, but not in the or in free doctors. May feel certain illnesses are hopeless, such as cancer, or care unnecessary. Accept need for medical care for illness, but not general preventive measures.
So what is your understanding on this one?
Like, ano po, ma'am? For example, if terminally ill na po, like, parang ma-take nilang hint na low yung chance of survival, ma'am. Kaya parang di na sila mag-resort to any care na i-provide po ng mga healthcare providers, like mga alternatives or whatsoever, kasi feel nila wala naman, unnecessary naman yan siya. Magdawat na lang, ma'am ba? Parang ganun po yung pagka-understand ko.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that one. Yes, you're right. For example, na-diagnose na ng cancer as given to dito sa example natin. And then, stage 1 pa lang naman yung cancer. So, there is a high chance mag-good ang prognosis ng patient natin. Kasi meron tayong mga chemotherapy, may mga radiotherapy tayo, di ba? So, you have to do the alternative ways. Kasi early detection pa, nasa stage 1 ka pa lang, ganyan. Pero hindi naman ibig sabihin na pag na-diagnose ka, wala na. Diba? Na, sige, okay na lang, hintayin na lang natin yung time. No, kasi may mga other alternatives pa. So, wag lang tayo mag-resort na to just ignore that one. Okay? All right, next one. Ms. Catalunya.
Understands and recognizes needs for medical care in illness and for the usual preventive services. So arranges for periodic appraisal and follows recommendation, accepts illness calmly, and recognizes the limits it imposes while doing all possible to effect recovery and rehabilitation.
So, what do you mean by that one?
Based po sa pagkaintindi ko ma'am kasi naintindihan po nila and then alam parang may knowledge na po talaga sila ma'am kung ano yung about yung sakit nila and alam po nila yung mga usual na mga preventive na usual na dapat nilang gawin po para mas maayo pagod sila ma'am. So like ka-follow sila sa mga recommendation na ginabigay ng mga health center po, so ganun po ma'am.
Yes, correct. They have the understanding already. So when the patient have the understanding, they recognize that there is a need for the medical care, and that illness should be treated because there are a variety of preventive and available medical services for them. Okay, so next one, ito yung pang-anim. So, again, ilan ang ating category sa FCI, Ms. Badayos?
9 po, ma'am.
Okay, very good, 9. So this one, number 6, read this one.
Emotional competence. This category has to do with the maturity and integrity with which the members of the family are able to meet the usual stresses and problems of life and to plan for happy and fruitful living. The degree to which the individual accepts the necessary disciplines imposed by one's family and culture. The development and maintenance of the individual responsibility and decision.
Okay, sige. So what do you mean by this one? As you have read the definition.
If mag-decide po yung isang family member, how will they respect po ba nila or the independence po for each of their emotional tawag nito, yung independent po sila sa kanilang decisions and how the family respect them po.
Okay, so that's a part of it. So, sabi nga dito, this category has to do with maturity. So, the emotional competence, it means that they are already mature in handling mga decisions and choices in life. So, they will discuss this one with the family members also, na they will have the compromise. Kasi sa family, di ba, hindi naman all the time na mag-agree kayo lahat. So si husband and wife, may mga disagreement din yan sila. That's why they have to talk about, and then kung ano yung mga stress factors nila, kung ano yung mga problems nila, they will talk about it, they will communicate, because that's how you handle your problems, diba? So yung emotional competence nila, the level of it is in the mature level. Okay? So, what's funny, Miss Lara?
Wala po, ma'am.
Okay, so why are you keep on smiling when someone is talking in front?
Sorry po, may nag-pop up lang po kasi sa messenger ko po,
That's
sorry.
why you have to listen. Kaya nga, we are here to discuss, diba? This is your RLE time, and then you keep on checking your mobile phone or you're doing unnecessary things. And nakikita kayo sa camera. Sige, so what is this emotional competence, Miss Lara?
So, yung emotional competence po is, ito po yung basihan ng maturity or yung mga maturity po and yung mga integrity po and yung yung basihan ng mga family members kung na-meet ba nila yung mga or na-meet po ba nila yung mga kailangan para yung ma-overcome po nila yung mga challenges po ng life nila, and kung meron po ba silang plano sa kanilang buhay po.
Example, provide example.
Yung example po ng emotional competence po is yung po sila yung may ini-impose po sila na family disciplines po na tinatanggap po nila at tinutupad po, and yung another po is sa mga, for example po, if meron po silang responsibility sa family po, is ginagawa po talaga nila yun, and pinag-iisipan po nila yung mga decisions na pwede nilang piliin po.
Okay, as I've said kanina, the emotional competence, it deals with the family members. For example, they have problems in life, there are stress factors that they're encountering, so they need to talk about it, they need to deal with it, they need to have compromise. Kasi not all decisions and choices ng husband and wife are in agreement. So if there are disagreement, they will find a way na mag-meet halfway yan sila. All right? So next slide. Mr. Balapis.
Willingness to meet responsibility and decision, willingness to meet reasonable obligations, accept adversity with fortitude, to consider the needs of others as well as one's own.
So what do you mean by that? Very understandable.
Ma'am? Ma'am? Yung accept from the itself, ma'am. Yung being
Sige, magbigay
responsible
ka na
and
example para mas madali siya maintindihan. Huwag mo lang basahin yung nakalagay dyan sa slides.
pwede ko pabalik sa previous page, ma'am.
Dito naman tayo sa next slide. So ito lang yung tinatanong ko. Willingness to meet responsibility and decision. Ayan na yung keyword mo. So give ka na example about this one.
Wait lang, ma'am. Wait. Wala ko maisip na example, ma'am, pero nagets na ko ang iyahang kuan. You mean,
Naintindihan mo man kaya, so dapat madali lang sa iyo na maka-cite ka na example. Okay, Miss Pagaran.
Akong pagkaintindi, ma'am, like if ang like older sister, i-consider niya ang obligations as an older sister, mag-provide siya ng care sa iyang younger siblings and do the task for the good of the family.
Okay, that's one good example. Thank you for that. Kasi 'di ba sa family, meron naman talagang eldest child, tapos may mga younger siblings ka. So mag-expect ang parents mo that you're responsible enough to do the household chores. You will be responsible, 'di ba? So you will meet the responsibility. So ano yung mga household chores na pwede mong gawin as the eldest child, 'di ba? And then the parents will expect you to take care of your younger siblings as well. So that's an example of that one. So, understandable yung mga words na binibigay dito. So, it will be very easy for you to give an example. So, don't give me answers na wala ako maisip kasi impossible na wala ka maisip. Yung mga nakalagay dito na words, very understandable. Okay, next one. Read, Mr. Abeliano.
Families do not face realities. One or more member lacking in any emotional control, uncontrollable rages. Responsible sexual activities. One or more members are alcoholic. Family torn, suspicious of one another. Evidence of great insecurity, guilt, and anxiety.
Sige, what do you mean by this one?
Saan, ma'am? Ma'am?
Madami to nakalagay dito. So, kahit isa lang.
Ay,
Talk
magpili lang
about
isa, ma'am.
one of each.
Ano, ma'am? No. Pili mo na ako. Itong one or more member lacking in any emotional control, ma'am, uncontrollable rage, ma'am. For example, if may away sila, ma'am, tapos di niya makontrol sarili niya, ma'am, masaktan niya, partner niya, ganyan, ma'am.
Ano sabi mo?
Yung sa one or
May
more, like example, ma'am, kung mag-away
example
sila,
sa family. Sige.
family, ma'am, may mag-away sila,
Para
ma'am.
maintindihan ka namin.
Ma'am?
Sabi ko, talk clearly, talk properly para maintindihan ka namin.
Yes, ma'am. Yung nasabi ko, ma'am, kay example, kung mag-away sila, tapos yung isa kay, like,
Kung mag-away sila, sino? Sabihin mo,
example,
kung ano, sa
example,
family mo, di
sa
mag-away sila,
family,
sino yung mag-away?
mag-away ang family, ma'am, yung parents, ganyan. Tapos, example, yung papa, o yung papa kay, like, ano siya, ma'am, mapikon or magalit siya, ma'am, tapos masaktan niya, partner niya, ma'am.
Okay. So, be specific ka, hindi yung magsabi ka lang mag-away sila. Sino yung ginatukoy mo doon na mag-away, okay? Sabihin mo, may mag-partner, married couple, husband and wife. They have problems arguing to each other. The father is unable to control his emotions. So, what happened? Diba? So, naging physically, verbally abusive siya sa partner niya. Okay? Sige, sino pa yung mga nag-raise hands kanina? 3 participants. Alright, Balabis.
Sa ano po, ma'am? Example, di ba, ma'am? Kanina.
Okay, sige, example.
Yung irresponsible sexual, ma'am. Pag maraming always nag-sex, ma'am, then may lead to maraming anak po.
Yes. Diba? Kaya nga dapat meron tayong family planning. Kasi, ito lang yung work mo, and then magkano lang yung income mo a month, kayanin mo pa ba na magkaanak ka pa ng more than 1, more than 2, diba? So you have to be responsible with your sexual activities. Okay? So, may nag-resign pa dito. Ano ba yan? Ito na makita. Si Amigleo?
Yes, ma'am. Family torn, suspicious of one another. For example, ma'am, yung father, parati siya naga-overtime kasi busy siya sa work, pero yung mother, always suspicious sa feeling niya kay yang naga cheat yung husband niya sa kanya. So, imbes na i-support niya yung husband niya kay late, nag-uwi sa bahay, always sila mag-away kay sabi niya na, bakit ka parati umuwi? Ay, matagal umuwi. Tapos, baka may iba ka ng babae. Yung ganun, ma'am. Tapos, always sila mag-away. Tapos, makita ng mga anak nila na ganun na lang parati.
Yes, so it can cause ng mga conflicts palalo kasi naging suspicious na si wife kay husband. Okay, so sino pa yung nag-raise ng hand? Nag-raise pa kanina. Asturias, sige, Asturias.
Yung sa ano po ma'am, mag-connect siya yung one or more members are alcoholic, and then yung sa lacking in any emotional control and uncontrollable rages po ma'am. Kasi yung based on sa experience with ma'am, yung sa kapitbahay lang namin, yung father doon sa family na yan ma'am is frequent good siya mag-drink ng alcohol, and because of that is frequent din yung fights nila ng kanyang asawa. Tapos minsan maglabayanay na sila og mga gamit, di lang pod iyang asawa iyang ma-abuse, pati iyang mga anak pod ma'am. So yun po.
Yes, very good. Totoo yan. Kung wala namang masama sa pag-drink ng alcohol as long as it's social drinking. Pero if it's like daily, it's a different story kasi it's an addiction already. Diba? And ito na lang yung income mo, pero ang lakas ng loob mo, may pambili ka pa ng pang-inom mo, diba? Ibili mo na lang yan ng bigas mo or ng pangkain ng family mo. Okay, so next, wait lang ha. Stop share muna ako kasi nag-hang talaga siya. Wait lang. Okay, sige. Next one, Miss Henelsa.
Family members usually do fairly well, but one or more members evidence lack of security or maturity. Thumb sucking in late childhood, unusual concerns with what the neighbors will say, failure to plan ahead for foreseeable crisis, leaving children unattended, and fighting in the family on occasion. Mag-example ako, ma'am.
Sige.
For example, ma'am, itong failure to plan ahead for foreseeable crisis. For example, ma'am, is yung magbag or magkaanak, ma'am, hindi nyo talaga na plano ang expenses and the attention po, ma'am, tapos mag-away na mo kay ang baby lang mo nung pansin between mag-asawa, ganit mo. Tapos wala na kayo na take care ang balay, kayo nag-alaga naman sa baby, mag-away-away na mo.
Okay, so dito sa family members usually do fairly well, but one or more members evidence lack of security or maturity. So, hindi mo talaga maiwasan na sa isang family, hindi kasi naman talaga lahat, you don't expect everyone to be as responsible or the same yung level of maturity, diba? That's why, yun na nga, ito yung leaving children unattended, kasi kung si mother, expected housewife siya, wala man siyang work, kaya nga housewife siya. So, di ba dapat anong gawin niya? Prepare niya ang pagkain ng mga bata. Pero anong ginawa niya? Nagmalit sa kapitbahay, kaaga-aga. Instead na yung mga anak niya, pinaglutuan niya agad, or ni-ready niya papunta ng school, pero yung priority niya, makichismis muna sa mga kapitbahay niya. Worst, naging sugolera si mother, magmajong-majong lang siya, yun ang kanyang ng time niya, pampalipas oras, ganyan. So, yun siya, one example yan siya dito sa ating family members na evidence lack of security or maturity. Ito rin fighting in the family on occasion. Diba nakakahiya yan? Like may event tayo sa family, sabihin natin birthday party. Sa birthday party ng anak ninyo, dun pa talaga kayo magkaway-away. So, syempre, nandyan ang relatives ng mother's side, father's side, invited. Diba? Tapos, may mga neighbors kayo, may mga close friends kayo. Tapos, of all the time, dyan talaga ninyo, kung ano yung mga misunderstanding ninyo, doon nyo talaga ilabas sa family occasion na yan. But, that's true ha, kasi may mga instances na ganyan. Family event, mag-away-away sila. They don't care sa mga visitors nila. Kasi ako, I've tried that one. Nagulat ako, nag-attend ako, tapos nagkagulo. So parang, bakit ganito? Diba? So, yun. Okay, next one. Balon.
All members of the family able to maintain a reasonable degree of emotional calmness, face up to illness realistically and hopefully, able to discuss problems and differences with objectivity and reasonable emotional control.
Miss Balon, yung camera mo parang blurry siya, hindi makita yung face mo. Yan.
So
at madalas sa inyo ganyan, gina-blurry ninyo yung ano ninyo, yung camera ninyo. Diba sinabihan na kayo ni Sir Julius Capo na ipakita ninyo at least ang buong face ninyo sa camera, hindi yung forehead nyo lang yung makita. Iayos mo pa yung camera mo, Miss Balon, kasi hindi masyado makita yung mukha mo. Baba mo pa. I-adjust mo pa talaga siya. Sige pa. Adjust it pa. Kasi ang makita lang talaga yung blurry background mo. Yan. Sige, go on. Continue.
So, dito po, parang positive, ano siya ma'am, kay, like, diri kay ang family, they are able to parang, naa sila, kuan ma'am, like, emotional competence, they're able to control if ever na ay, like, crisis na mag-abot sa ilang family and parang nag-open up sila with each other to find a solution para ma-solve tong like problems na mag-abot sa ilang balay din.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that one. So dito, there is what? A harmonious relationship between family members because they have an open communication. So that is one important factor. Kasi they talk about their problems, mga issues, diba? In order for them to come up with a good solution. And because of that, their level of emotional competence is matured. Okay, so number 7 na tayo. Sige, Miss Bernardino.
Family living. This category is concerned largely with the interpersonal or group aspects of family life. How well the members of the family get along with another, the ways in which they take decisions affecting the family as a whole, degree to which they support one another and do things as a family, degree of respect and affection they show for one another, ways they manage the family budget, and kind of discipline that prevails. Example po, Mom.
Yes.
This type of ma'am is like nag-teamwork sila po. Like na sila unity sa family, ma'am. Like kabalo sila mag-budget sa ilahang living, and then may discipline, tas they show respect on each other, ma'am, and affection also. Yun lang po,
ano yun? They show what?
Respect and affection towards each other po.
Okay, thank you, Miss Gamino. Alright, so eto siya sa family living. So pag sinabing family living, this talk about largely with the interpersonal. So what do you mean by interpersonal? Their relationship towards other members of the family or group aspects of the family life. So na-mention kanina ni Ms. Gamino na they have their family budget. So that is one important factor sa family. Kasi when you set budget, diba, dapat may monthly budget talaga tayo ang bawat family. Because yung budget na yan, dapat magkaintindihan si mother and si father kung ano yung mga priority natin sa budget na yan. Kasi for example, si father gustong bumili ng bagong labas ng iPhone 14. Si mother gustong bumili ng bagong luxury bag niya. Diba? So, gusto niya ng YSL or Prada, Gucci na bag. Diba? Tapos, priority ba natin yan for this month? Nagkataon enrollment ng mga bata. They have 3 kids, diba? So, they have to talk about it, compromise, di ba? Kung ano yung priority. So, the enrollment of the kids over the new iPhone 14 or the new luxury bag ni mother. Kasi, kailangan iset mo na yung budget. Ito yung mga important. Enrollment ng mga bata, pang grocery for this month, pang bills natin. Ano mga monthly bills, di ba? May electric, Davao Light. Mahal na si Davao Light. May water district pa. May PLDT internet tayo. Meron pang Netflix, di ba? May kotse sila mother and father. Monthly ng kanilang gasoline. Mahal na ang diesel ngayon, di ba? Ang rice pa nila, magkano isang sack of rice sa isang month. So, budget muna nila yan. Tingnan nila kung anong matira dyan sa monthly budget na yan. That's the time na, may pambili pa tayo ng iPhone 14 na bago. Sige, pwede. Diba? So, they have to set first kung ano yung mga priorities na yan. And then, the degree which they support one another and do things as family. So, for example, si father, meron siya weekly na basketball practice. Yun yung kanyang outlet aside pagpagod siya after work, mag-meet siya with friends niya. So, may weekly practice siya sa basketball, 'di ba? So support si mother diyan sa practice na yan ni father, 'di ba? Kasi alam niya outlet yun siya, at the same time good exercise for father. So kunwari si mother naman is mag-pilates, yun naman yung ano ni mother, support din si father diyan sa pilates or yoga ni mother. So ganyan. So things na mga ganito, pinag-usapan talaga yan sa family. Okay? So, next one. Read this one, Miss Gonzaga.
Family consists of a group of individuals indifferent or hostile to one another, so strongly dominated and controlled by a single family member.
So, ano ibig sabihin man yan? Very understandable.
Kumbaga, each of the family member, have nasa decision, na dapat ma-contribute sa family. Like, dili lang dapat ang isa ang mag-control.
Paki-loud ng ng voice mo, Miss Gonzaga.
Asa na yun?
On my end, di ka masyado audible sa akin kasi. Please.
Ay, yung isa to ba yun?
Yung question ko sa'yo kanina, please pakiulit ng answer mo.
Kumbaga, ma'am, yung each of the family member, ma'am, na sila decision na kailangan makontribute sa family. Like, dili lang ang isang dili sila gina-control, ma'am, ba? Like, parang, as a family, gihapon sila decision. Dili lang kay isa ang mag-control, ma'am.
Yun nga ang nakalagay dito. So strongly dominated and controlled by a single family member. 'Di ba? Sa family, may head of the family, 'di ba? So, anong common sa ating Philippine setting? Sino ang head of the family?
Yes, ma'am. Yung dapat, yung mother yung ma'am na. Dapat ganito yung gawin mo, ganyan. Parang may, ang mother ang mabuhat, ma'am ba na dapat patag isa sa atwa kay na ay responsibility na dapat nimo gampanan, something like that.
Yeah, for example, dito, di ba, ang family consists of a group. So, sabihin natin, 3 to more than 3 members, di ba? Kasi pag si husband and wife may anak, family na din yan, di ba? So, sabihin natin, may 3 silang anak, so 5 sila sa family, strongly dominated and controlled by a single family member. So common sa atin, di ba, father is the head of the family. Si father yung nagtatrabaho. Although sa current situation naman natin, mother and father both working na talaga. But then, meron talaga yung isa na mas mag-dominate sa family. Mas dominant ang character. So, siya talaga yung sa mga decision making. Although, i-consult niya yan syempre sa partner niya. 'Di ba? Kasi meron talaga isa na tatayo na siya talaga yung mas maging dominant. That is the meaning of that one. Okay? Next one, Cabrera.
Family gets along but has habits or customs that interferes with the unity of family, and parents' expectation on their children are sometimes unrealistic, and children somewhat are overprotective po. So there are some habits in the families po na break sa unity of the family po, ma'am, and also ang expectation po sa sa children is kanang dili good siya, kanang unrealistic kay siya, ma'am. For example po is ang expectation sa imong mother kay maka first honor ka ay maka sa may go for example wait lang, ma'am. Wait lang, ma'am. Halimbawa, competition sa isa ka tournament, and then halimbawa competition sa halimbawa, ma'am, taekwondo, and gusto niya madaog ka, tapos 1 month pa lang ka nag ma'am, 1 month pa lang ka nag
practice.
Apo, and gina-expect ka niya nga madaog po. Mato, ma'am.
Ikaw ma-champion.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes. So tama yung example mo, Mr. Cabrera. So that's for the family gets along but has habits or customs. Ibig sabihin may mga attitude or practice na it blocks the unity of the family. So yun yung, for example, yung sa competition, and then unrealistic kasi kaka-start pa lang ng training, tapos isalang mo na sa competition. So, you don't expect na ma-champion yung anak mo. Ganun din yan sa gusto mo agad na maging achiever yung anak mo, pero hindi ka na, ikaw as a mother, hindi mo nga tinutulungan sa mga homework yung bata, hindi mo tinutulungan mag-review, ganyan. So, paano mo naman ma-expect na maging top 1 yung anak mo sa klase, di ba? Okay, so wait ha. Next one, Mr. Dayaw.
Family does things together. Each member acts for the good of the family as a whole. Child respects parents and vice versa. So, ang example po na to, ma'am, kay when ang isang family po, ma'am, kay parang ginarespect nila ang isa't isa, ma'am, kay parang may good silang relationship, tapos makashare yung mga ang anak nila, ma'am, sa parents nila, tapos yun din po, ma'am, vice versa, yung parents din po kay parang masabihan niya ng anak niya, masabihan niya yung anak niya about things na dapat gawin, parang dapat itama, ma'am, tapos gina-respect din po ng anak yung ginagawa ng gisabi ng parents po, ma'am. Bale, good relationship po.
Okay, thank you for that, Mr. Dayaw. Very good. So, ganun, the family do things together. So, yun na nga. As a whole, they act for the good of the family. So, they have, again, harmonious and kumbaga as one ang family because sila mother and father, nag-set sila ng good example sa mga anak nila. So when they set rules na ito yung mga dapat gawin, they stick to it. So the child will follow to that one and they have a good open communication sa mga anak nila. That's why yung mga bata, they can share things sa kanilang mother or father. Pag uwi nila galing school, they will talk about what happened sa school nila, kung nakakuha ba sila ng star, ano ba yung mga praises na natanggap nila from their teachers, ganyan. And also, yun nga, in return, di ba, sila mother and father, you know, ganun din sa mga anak nila. They can share stories sa kanilang mga anak din. So, eto, number 8 na tayo. Number 8, Real.
Yes,
Ano ba
ma'am.
to? Rekta? Rekta?
Yes po.
Saan ang ano? Ba't walang makita sa'yo? Yung background mo lang ang makita, window background. Kaya minsan, remove yung mga ganyang background kasi pa-background kayo tapos wala naman yung mga mukha nyo. Saan si Balabis? Wala din. Walang mukha. Oh. Tanggalin niyo yung mga ganyang background ninyo kasi yung background nyo yung nakikita. Dapat yung mukha nyo nakikita sa class natin. Pag hindi pa kayo tawagin, hindi mag-appear ang mga faces ninyo sa camera. Maghintay pa kayo, i-call yung attention ninyo. Sige, read this one.
Physical environment. Physical environment. This is concerned with the home, the community, and the work environment as it affects family health. The condition of the house, such as presence of accident hazards, screening plumbing system, facilities for cooking and privacy, level of community, deteriorated neighborhood, transportation, conditions of school, and availability. Next slide, ma'am.
Hindi, explain that one.
Okay. So, sa ilahang environment, ma'am, like ang sa water supply, sa ilang electricity, ang ilahang environment nga like sa ilang neighborhood yun mismo, like if kanang risk sila for health threat like sa mga disease kaya maka-affect jud sa ilahang ma-affect jud ilahang health ilang sa ilang family good food mismo sa especially kay ilang factors sa ilang environment kay dili clean, dili siya efficient, dili po siya dili good, so bad for their health good siya, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Miss. Saan ang last name mo dyan? Kasi di ba dapat section, ganun ang ano natin for virtual class. Year, section, last name. Diba? Alam niyo yan, ganyan dapat ang name ninyo. Wala ka nakalagay ng year mo, ng section mo. So, dapat i-edit mo yan para hindi malito. Miss Gonzaga, please, walang makita sa'yo. Blurry talaga. Yung door mo na blurry ang mahalata. Okay, tama yung sinabi kanina ni Ms. Real na may mga health threat. For example, yung presence ng accident hazard sa community. For example, yung sinabi nga niya, yung sa mga electricity daw, ganyan. So, for example, ito sa physical environment, concern ito siya with the home and community, also sa work environment. Because lahat ito interrelated. Again, ang home, community, and the work environment of the family, so ito sila interrelated. Ito sila, the condition of the house, for example, yun nga, So, if ignore nila na may mga problem na tayo sa mga, like yung mga electrical wiring nila, nakalabas, dapat nakaayos na yung mga ganyan, ipafix nila yan sa electrician, pero wala silang time or walang budget pa, or ang plumbing system naman nila, masira, naka-open, di ba? So, also yung sa level of community, deteriorated neighborhood. So what do you mean by deteriorated neighborhood, Ms. Balon? Ms. Balon, please.
Ano po, ma'am, like example po, like sa mga squatter area, ma'am, kanang murag halos tanan nga murag on sa ilang family ma'am present, like mga gubot kaayo ma'am, wala organization sa ilahang like community ma'am, bisag-asa lang. For example din po ma'am, kay bisag-asa lang mangi, ganyan, labay basura. So murag nagakuan sa ilahang dili lang sa isa ka family ma'am, but the whole community po.
Okay, thank you. Sige, another answer kila Miss Son.
Good morning, ma'am. So, kung pagkaintindi po sa neighborhood, deteriorated, ma'am, parang unsafe good ang place, ma'am. Kunwari ka ng ang mga teens dito, ma'am, kay puro street choy, mga ingana, good, ma'am. So, parang bad influence siya sa laing teens po na nakapuyot-puyot within the community po. Naato, ma'am.
Pwede pakilakas ng voice mo, Miss Son, kaya medyo hindi siya clear on my end.
Ano po, ma'am? So, marinig na po.
Lapit mo kaya yung mic mo.
Ito po, ma'am. Audible na po.
Sige daw, again.
Ang ano, ma'am, neighborhood, ma'am, para sa ko, ma'am, kay, pasabot niya, ma'am, kay unsafe good siya na, unsafe siya na place or community, ma'am, kay tungod, it could be ang mga silingan or mga nakapuyo dito, ma'am, kay naay mga chuy-chuy, kanang anak, ma'am, ang mga teens dito, ma'am, kay parang bad influence po siya sa laing teens na nakapuyo dito sa community nila.
Okay, sige, thank you, Miss San. Pagaran, nag-raise ka ng hand.
Same thoughts po with Miss Son. The thought is unsafe po yung neighborhood, and like for example ang overcrowded, either overcrowded or overpopulated po yung environment sa neighborhood po, daghan kayong houses, and which can also cause daghan garbage po. And also since neighborhood ang gitok, ma'am, kay pwede po siya sa dalan, ma'am, na lubak-lubak kaayo, or ang poste, like ang electric wires, which can cause hazard and which can harm or affect each family's health na living in that area po.
Okay, sige, tama yun. Tama lahat ng mga na-mention ninyo. Okay, so wait lang ha. Ayan. Sige. Ito, this one, please read. Gatera. Wait lang ha. Gatera.
Yes po, ma'am. Ito pong nasa slide, ma'am. House in poor condition, unsafe, unscreened, the neighborhood deteriorated, juvenile and adult delinquency, no recreational space except streets, house needs some repair or painting but fundamentally sound, neighborhood poor but possible to protect children from poor social influence to education and other community activities. So for example, ma'am, there are low society na Ay, meron pa. Ito po, sali po ito, ma'am. Housing good repair provides for privacy and is
Sige, continue. Sorry.
okay po, and is free of accidents and pest hazards, free from undesirable social elements. So, ano po, ma'am, yung sa left side is more yung isang bulat po is more on unsafe po ang environment for children or for family na mag-raise ng child po, ma'am, since pwede po pabalik ng isang slide po, ma'am. Yan po. Because of the environment po, ma'am, kung saan sila nakatira. And for the other side po, ma'am, is yung family na they can raise a child in a safe environment.
Yes, okay. Thank you, Ms. Gatera. So kanina na-mention natin yung deteriorated community. So ito yung mga in relation sa deteriorated ang community. So poor ang condition ng bahay, unsafe, unscreened, di ba? Pag sinabi mo unsafe, unscreened, ano yun? So yung neighborhood mismo, hindi safe, especially kasi dikit-dikit yung mga bahay ninyo. So, hindi naman sa mag-stereotype tayo na may mga magnanakaw or ano ba dyan sa kapitbahay ninyo. Pero, overpopulated yung lugar, overcrowded yung lugar. Tapos, bukas pa talaga yung mga screen mo. So, madali ka lang dyan mapasok. Paano? Pari, tulog kayo, magkaanak. Bigla lang may mag-akyat bahay dyan sa inyo kasi sabihin natin, wala kayong gate, diretso lang mapasok yung bahay ninyo or yung mga bintana ninyo, sira-sira pa. So, understandable yung mga nandito. So, anong kailangan gawin? Diba? So, obviously, the house needs some repair. So, kailangan talaga mapalitan yung mga sirang screen or pag sinabi natin, di ba, na unsafe yung environment, so, di ba, so, you need to protect also the welfare of your children. So, neighborhood poor but possible to protect children from poor social influence through education and other community activities. So, yung mga bata dapat ma-involve sa sports. So, important yan na other platform nila. So, aside from going to school, dapat meron mga other activities sila. Hindi yung magganggang sila dyan, maggrupo-grupo sila, tapos ma-involve sila sa mga riot, sa mga gulo, ganyan. So, common yan siya sa mga ganyang area na yung mga bata hindi na pumapasok, tapos grupo-grupo na lang. Tapos start na yan sila mag-yossi at a very young age. So, that's why it is important na ma-educate sila. Okay? So, tapusin na lang natin tong pang-9 before mag-break tayo para hindi putol. Okay lang ba yon? Will that be fine sa inyo? 9:04 na or you want break then continue ang 9?
Finish na lang, ma'am.
Okay, tapusin na lang natin. Okay? Wait. Bella, read this one.
Use of community facilities has to do with the degree of the family use and awareness. Wait lang po. Has to do with the degree of the family use.
Miss Bella, are you still there? Okay, na-DC si Miss Bella. Sige, Iwaw, read this one.
Use of community has to do with the degree of family use and awareness of the available community facilities for health, education, and welfare. This includes the ways in which they would use services of private physicians, clinics, hospitals, schools, welfare organizations, and so forth. So ito po yung example na gisabi mo kanina, ma'am, na yung mga tao sa isang barangay kay either ginagamit nila or hindi ginagamit kanilang health centers or iba na willing or hindi willing magpunta sa private hospitals para mag-check up po, yung ganyan po.
Okay, so thank you. Accept ko muna yung mga na-out ha. May mga disconnect kasi. Okay, sige. Saan ba yun? Alright. Villanueva?
Family has obvious and serious social needs but has not sought or found any help. A family may be borrowing unreasonable sums of money for medical care instead of availing of the free hospital or clinics. Since po hindi sila aware sa mga services na available po sa kanilang health center, so mag-utang na lang po sila to go into another place or hospital po para makapa-check up.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for that one. Also, very understandable, di ba? Sabi, a family may be borrowing unreasonable sums of money for medical care instead of availing of the free hospitals or clinic. Di ba? Sa SPMC natin, we all know na that's a government hospital. And then, kapag ma-hospital ka dyan, pwede ka pa mag-ask ng mga help, yung mga lingap. If narinig nyo na ba yan? May mga lingap, may mga PCSO. So, after matotal yung bill, before the discharge, pag-process yung family member niyan kasi mag-submit niya ng mga requirements, pila yan sa lingap, sa PCSO, sa DSWD, kasi sila yung mga organization or agencies na nagbibigay ng mga additional help sa mga hospitalized natin ng mga citizen na yun nga, hindi enough yung mga funds nila. Okay, next one, bikatan.
Family is aware of and uses some, but not all of the available community resources that they need, uses the facilities they need appropriately and promptly. Family is aware of and uses some. Ang family daw, ma'am, is wait lang po, ma'am. Ang family is aware po of ma'am, by using the facilities po, ma'am. But not all of the available community resources that they need. Wala po akong maisip na example po, ma'am. But yun po, understand ko po.
Wala ka naisip na example pero naintindihan mo. Sige, so ano sa tingin mo, sa community, ano yung mga resources na pwedeng gamitin ng family? Ano ba yung mga resources na available sa community natin? Asan ka na? Ba't nawala ka na?
Kuan po, ma'am. Like mga daycare center po, ma'am, like ganyan po.
Ano?
Daycare center po, like ganyan. Isang example po.
Anong meron sa daycare center?
They can provide po ng po, ma'am, healthcare po for kuan. For
Ano ba yung daycare center, Mr. Likatan?
like one po ma'am, fire station, like ganyan po.
Daycare center, fire station? Sige, somebody can help Mr. Likatan. Someone? Sige, Bustillos.
So for example po dito ma'am is yung mga health center po sa barangay. So may possibility po na hindi mapunta doon ang mother para ipa-vaccine po yung baby niya kasi baka akala na po may bayad. Pero aware po siya doon na may vaccination pero hindi po siya kapunta kay baka may bayad.
Okay, very good, Ms. Bustillos. Narinig mo yun, Mr. Likatan?
Yes po ma'am.
Very common yun, yung ating health center. That is the community resources. Diba? So, alam naman nila na may libreng bakuna pero hindi sila magpabakuna. Anong sinasabi mong daycare center gaya ng fire station?
Eh, hindi po ma'am, para po sa for children's po.
Ano?
For children's po pala.
Oh, for children ang daycare center, ha? Kaya nga siya daycare center para sa mga bata. Paano naabot ang fire doon? Fire station. Okay, so ito yung mga areas natin. 'Di ba? May physical, wait lang. Makita ba ninyo or lumiit?
Lumiit.
Nagliit po ma'am.
Dapat, no? Sige, wait lang ha. Ganito yun siya for example ha. Di ba may 9 tayo na areas na na-mention. So yung number 1 natin, di ba, physical independence. Ganito dapat siya mag-appear sa case manuscript ninyo for the case presentation. Area, admission score, justification ninyo, and then mag-discharge score kayo, and then mag-justification kayo. So for example, nag-visit kayo. So sa first visit ninyo, sa physical independence, anong score ninyo? 5. Kasi ano yung scoring kanina? Na-discuss yun ni Sir Julius. Sino makarecall? Anong scoring natin? Miss Amigleo, anong scoring?
Ano po ulit yung question, ma'am?
Ano ang scoring natin? Na-discuss yun at the beginning ni Sir Julius.
Yung sa 1 for no competence, 3 for moderate, and 5 for yung complete, ma'am.
Very good. So ngayon, eto, sa admission natin na score, pag kunwari first visit, naglagay tayo ng 5. Ito yung justification. All the family members are able to perform their activities of daily living properly and independently. Okay? So, wag lang kayo mag-score without putting or writing your justification. Always have a justification why you scored that 5. Naintindihan, Ms. Amigleo?
Yes po, ma'am.
So, ano ang next? After the admission score, ano ang next, Ms. Amigleo?
After, ma'am, is yung sa justification, ma'am, kung bakit ganun yung score na gibigay natin po.
After nga ng justification, ano ang next? That's my
After, ma'am,
question.
is yung sa discharge na scoring, ma'am. And
Okay,
then,
so kailan kayo maglagay ng discharge score ninyo?
yung if may result na, ma'am, mga yung 2 days after, at least 2 days after daw yung sa visit, ma'am.
At least 2 to 3 days, di ba?
Opo.
Na-mention yan kanina ni Sir Julius. At least 2 to 3 days, pwede maglagay ng discharge score. So, after 2 to 3 days, anong discharge score dito?
5 po, ma'am.
5 pa din. So, anong justification?
For yung example, ma'am, is all family remain independent from each other in doing their activities of daily living appropriately on time.
Okay, so hindi nyo ulitin yung justification ninyo sa admission, ha? Yung justification ninyo sa discharge ninyo, dapat hindi siya copy-paste. Okay? Kasi paulit namin yan sa inyo pagdating ng case presentation ninyo. Again, justification sa admission score is not copy-paste sa discharge score ninyo. Kasi there are also, kahit pa sabihin ninyo na, ma'am, same lang man ang score ko sa 5 na admission, pati sa discharge ko, 5 pa din. So bakit hindi pwede ang justification ko i-copy-paste? Diba? So, hindi pwede kahit na magkapareho ang score nyo sa admission and sa discharge. Kasi may iba mag-reason out pa talaga na, ma'am, same lang good ang score, ma'am, wala man nagbago. So, pwede lang din all the family members are able to perform. Hindi. Kasi kailangan i-paraphrase niyo yan. Okay? Tapos may chance din na pwedeng mababa ang admission score pero tumaas pagdating sa discharge score. Pwede din si admission score mataas, bumaba na naman sa discharge score. So, it depends sa areas. So, as you go on, depende rin yun sa situation ninyo ng family na maging subject ninyo for your case presentation. Okay? So, natapos na natin discuss ang 9 areas of the FCI. So, I think need na natin mag-break. So, 9:18 na ngayon. Sige, DOH programs na lang naman yung i-discuss ko after this. So, makaya ko na lang din yun siya tapusin before lunch break. Ano muna tayo, 30-minute morning break. Okay? So, be back by 9:45 na lang. Again, 9:45, mag-check ulit ng attendance. So, have your morning break now. Thank you.